My grandmother died from it. My Uncle Roger died from it. My daddy's going through it. So I'm only human, so.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that. We're gonna get through this. That's tough because
Floyd Mayweather has reportedly shared some deeply disturbing content on his Instagram story, and it has left many people wondering whether the boxing legend is now caught in one of the darkest moments of his life. The footage allegedly showed letters, screenshots of threatening messages, and other strange items that appeared serious enough to suggest that these were not just random online insults. What made the story even more alarming is the growing talk that some of the people Floyd allegedly owes money to may not be ordinary businessmen at all. Rumors online have gone as far as suggesting that one of the jewelry stores linked to his debt is allegedly connected to a dangerous figure hiding behind a polished business image, while another company said to be involved is not even based in the United States. If any of these claims are true, then this may be far more serious than just unpaid bills. It could be a situation where pressure, fear, and real danger are now closing in on him.
You've spoken about the mother of your children who also passed. For you, who does have so many people depending on him, has also had a ton of success as well. How do those losses of people you love?
According to the narrative spreading online, once Floyd's debt problems continued for too long, the situation allegedly became much more personal and much more threatening. Some reports and discussions suggest that whoever is behind these warnings may have decided it was time to make Floyd understand the seriousness of the matter through fear. There are even claims that subtle but terrifying signs of danger were noticed around his Las Vegas home, enough to reportedly shake the former champion and force him to take the matter seriously. For someone like Floyd Mayweather, who has always relied on heavy security and a lifestyle built around protection and privacy, that kind of incident would be shocking. Reports also claim that suspicion started falling on one particular person within his own security circle, which, if true, would make the whole thing even scarier. It is one thing to fear enemies outside your gates. It is another thing entirely to suspect that the danger might already be inside.
But over the years, it's constantly going on the internet, take a shot at Floyd, take a shot at Floyd, take a shot at Floyd. Constantly be disrespectful, when all I ever been was respectful to try to help this fighter go as far as he could possibly go. That's all I ever did.
yeah.
This is the kind of fear that pushes a person to break their silence, especially when they start feeling like the threat is no longer something they can handle privately. Floyd reportedly noticed a number of unusual signs that made him believe this could be an insider situation, or at least something much closer to home than he had first imagined. Instead of staying completely silent, he appeared to take his concerns to the public through his Instagram story, adding dramatic captions to the footage before eventually appearing in one of the videos himself. One of the messages reportedly suggested that success becomes poison in the eyes of certain people, while another made the situation sound even more urgent by saying that his life and the lives of his family members were now in real danger. For a man known for confidence, pride, and bravado, that kind of public cry for help hit very differently.
Well, my thing is, I've always been there for him from day one. We had a game plan, and my game plan was to help him become world champion and take things to that next level. And I've always been there for him. And just over the years, you can see I've always been positive, always said great things about him, always pushed him to be great.
But as expected, the internet did not respond with pure sympathy. In fact, one of the posts Floyd shared was quickly met with mockery from many users who refused to believe that the threat was genuine. Some accused him of looking for attention, while others said this was just another attempt to stay relevant in the headlines after retirement. A few even argued that Floyd's flashy and extravagant lifestyle had made him an easy target for criticism, and that he had spent too many years showing off wealth without expecting some kind of backlash. One harsh comment basically laughed off the entire situation, saying that Floyd was only upset because his ego could not handle being out of the spotlight anymore. According to that reaction, instead of talking about death threats, he should be trying to find another exhibition match to keep the money coming in.
John Gotti's the third sister, Nicolette. Now, she was wrong for this. She threatened Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s daughter on IG, I believe. I saw it on Twitter.
Another group of commenters came after him even more aggressively, almost as if they felt he deserved no sympathy at all. One reaction mocked the idea that the man often described as one of the richest boxers in history was now acting helpless online. Others suggested that this was all just a publicity stunt, meant to keep his name trending. Then came the kind of comments that sounded less like trolling and more like sarcastic life advice. Some told Floyd that if he was really facing serious threats, maybe it was time for him to step back from the constant noise, trash talk, and showing off on social media. Others said he had spent years rubbing people the wrong way with his arrogance and boasting, and that perhaps now was the time to reflect on the kind of legacy he had created. Whether fair or unfair, the message from many people was clear. They were not interested in feeling sorry for him.
Read what she's talking about right here. Nicolette says she's coming for Floyd's daughter in 2 or 3 years. I'm thinking that maybe she'll train for 2 or 3 years and maybe she's hoping to get a fight with Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s daughter. Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Still, beyond the mockery, there is a more serious side to this story that people cannot ignore. Floyd Mayweather has been linked to a number of financial controversies over the years, and while some of those issues involve tax-related matters, others reportedly involve private businesses, individuals, and contractual disputes. That is why some observers believe the threats may not be random at all. There is speculation that they could be connected to jewelers, companies, or business partners who claim Floyd took services, products, or deals and then failed to honor his financial obligations. Some reports have pointed to jewelry stores, while others mention real estate-related dealings and allegations involving questionable paperwork. With so many legal and financial shadows already surrounding his name, it becomes much easier for people to believe that somebody out there may have decided to turn up the pressure in a very dangerous way.
Is not a boxer, and I don't think his daughter's getting in the ring anytime soon. His daughter's not getting in no ring for what? It's Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s daughter. She don't gotta fight anyone. But Nicolette Gotti, she revealed herself. We know who she is right.
The company's most frequently mentioned in reports is Zinni Media Concept Limited, a Nigerian company that has been involved in a long legal battle with Floyd Mayweather. According to reports, the dispute goes back several years to a contract signed around 2017, under which Floyd was expected to make appearances in Africa, including in Nigeria. The company claims it paid a large advance for those appearances, only for Floyd to allegedly pull out of the agreement and refuse to refund the money. That immediately turned what should have been a business opportunity into a courtroom battle. For critics, this case became one more example of how Floyd's glamorous public image was being increasingly challenged by claims of unpaid obligations and broken agreements. And as this story spread, it gave people another possible explanation for why tension may now be surrounding him.
I wear is diamonds. Today ain't no diamonds today.
That's the Richard Mille.
This is very humble. No, I like to call this people pronounce them different ways. Richard Mille is what my jeweler told me, so that's exactly how they say it,
Richard Mille.
So, and of course, this is a watch connoisseur, so he would know.
I'm wearing a black sub, and we've got one right here.
You know what? Today I'm gonna go black sub.
Is that which one do you prefer? Is that the one you
But
prefer?
today I'm gonna go black sub.
Black subs. You guys gonna have matching watches?
The company's side of the story reportedly paints Floyd's decision as a unilateral cancellation, followed by a refusal to return the advance that had already been paid. What made the claim sound even more controversial was the allegation that Floyd's legal team suggested he could avoid paying the refund because the company was not based in the United States. Whether people believe that version or not, the accusation alone was enough to make the case feel bigger than a simple contract dispute. It added an international dimension and created the impression that the company had to fight much harder than usual just to be heard. In the eyes of the public, that only strengthened the narrative that Floyd's luxurious lifestyle may have been built alongside a pattern of business conflicts that never truly went away.
Sticking more together, you know, pushing each other to be great instead of arguing on social media. That's just my opinion. And push each other in a positive way. And
I found myself in the past, the younger Floyd Mayweather.
After reportedly making multiple unsuccessful attempts to recover the money, the company took the matter to court, accusing Mayweather of breach of contract, unjust enrichment, and fraud-related conduct. The legal fight stretched on for years, but eventually the company received favorable rulings that gave their claims much more weight in the public eye. According to statements attributed to company representatives, a California court ordered Floyd to pay a substantial amount in damages, interest, attorney fees, and costs, bringing the total to well over $2 million. That was a major blow to his image because it turned the story from rumor into a court-recognized financial obligation. Floyd then reportedly appealed, but the existence of the case itself was already enough to keep public suspicion alive and feed the growing belief that too many people were now waiting to collect from him.
Media. I don't do that anymore because I'm truly, truly blessed, way beyond belief. What's important to me right now is my real estate, my family, different things I'm involved with.
Then came another development that made the case even more damaging for Floyd's image. Reports stated that in August 2024, the appellate court upheld the earlier decision, meaning the judgment remained in place and the debt did not disappear. According to those same reports, Floyd still had not paid the awarded amount, and interest was continuing to build over time. There was even talk that enforcement could reach high-value assets such as his luxury cars, including vehicles worth more than the debt itself. That detail made the story especially dramatic because Floyd has built so much of his public identity around expensive possessions. A man famous for showing off his cars, jewelry, and wealth was now being publicly linked to court-authorized efforts to seize those same symbols of luxury. To many people, that looked like the perfect example of image crashing into reality.
So, y'all gotta know the difference between a hack bag and a Birkin bag. So this is a men's carry-on bag when you're traveling. So a lot of times when people see a male carrying a bag like this, they be like, oh, that's a Birkin. You have to know the difference. Look it up. HAC, it's a hack bag.
Now I'm here to talk to the people about one of my jewelers. And it's not one of my new jewelers, one of my low-key jewelers, Tony, at Pasha in Manhattan Beach, California. You guys need to come check them out. Now today, let me show you guys what I purchased from Tony. Tony, matter of fact, I don't need to tell him, you tell him.
Got a little rose gold sky dweller, chocolate dial, 40 karat pear shape, 1 carat each, tennis bracelet, only for the best of the champ.
As if that were not enough, Floyd Mayweather was also reportedly sued by a jeweler over millions of dollars in unpaid jewelry. That case added even more fuel to the idea that his love for luxury had finally become a financial burden rather than a flex. Floyd has always been known for wearing outrageous chains, diamond-studded watches, bracelets, and custom-made pieces that scream wealth from a mile away. It is a huge part of the Money Mayweather brand, but according to the jeweler involved, in the lawsuit, that image may not match the reality behind the scenes. Reports claimed the jeweler alleged that Floyd, along with a music star said to be close to him, owed around $4 million for jewelry that had not been properly paid. 4. If true, that would mean the same accessories he uses to show power may now be part of the reason his name keeps appearing in damaging headlines.
Going back and forth on the internet with different people. But I'm in a better place in my life right now. I couldn't ask to be in a better place. So the old Floyd Mayweather, when I used to go back and forth with people.
The allegations in that jewelry lawsuit were especially explosive because they reportedly went far beyond a simple unpaid invoice. According to the claims made in court, the boxer and the musician were accused under laws tied to racketeering, along with allegations of fraud, conspiracy, breach of contract, unjust enrichment, and theft-related conduct. Whether every one of those claims stands up in the end or not, they are the kind of accusations that immediately damage public reputation. And once again, the story feeding the public imagination was the same. Floyd Mayweather, the man who built his image around endless money, was being accused of not paying what he owed. Some commentators also tied the broader hostility against him to his outspoken support for Israel, arguing that this had already made him a target in other situations. So now, in the eyes of many people, Floyd was not only dealing with legal enemies, he may also have been dealing with ideological ones.
On this giveaway, what I'm gonna do is give 2 tickets away to my next exhibition in Mexico. But what I need everybody to do is follow all the instructions down low.
Speaking of physical danger, Floyd recently found himself at the center of another frightening incident while out shopping. The boxing legend reportedly faced a tense and chaotic situation at a shopping district, where a crowd allegedly turned hostile toward him and his entourage. The timing of that confrontation added even more heat to the overall narrative, because it happened amid growing speculation that his public support for Israel had angered certain people. Videos and eyewitness accounts helped spread the moment across social media, making the incident look like more than just a random celebrity encounter. For Floyd, who is used to moving through public spaces with confidence and heavy protection, this was another reminder that fame, controversy, and public opinion can quickly turn into a dangerous combination.
Bringing the people into my lifestyle, showing the people how I live. Now, I know you guys see me on a regular talking about real estate. Well, lately, I purchased 62 apartment buildings in New York City. And what I need you guys to do, slide over and check out the photos. It's not all 62 buildings, it's a few buildings, but guess what? All the buildings belong to me. I don't have no partners. And all the retail down low on my buildings all belong to me.
Reports described Floyd wearing a green jacket as he looked visibly upset while security surrounded him and tried to move him away from the area. According to accounts from people close to the situation, the crowd became aggressive enough that his bodyguards had to rush him out of a high-end jewelry store and into a waiting black vehicle. A source close to Floyd insisted that he was never actually punched or touched, but admitted that the atmosphere was chaotic and hostile. It was also claimed that racial slurs were shouted during the confrontation, which only made the entire scene even uglier. Floyd later addressed the incident on Instagram, saying people were simply seeing his security team doing their job and keeping things under control. But once the footage was out, the internet had already decided that the story was bigger than his short explanation.
Boxing legend Floyd Mayweather was jumped in the street as he went jewelry shopping in central London after doubling down on his support for Israel in a furious conflict about the war in Gaza. The ex-champion, who's 47, was strolling around the floor at Hatton Garden this afternoon at around 4:30 when he's said to have got into a dramatic confrontation with a number of jewelry dealers, including some who accused him of supporting genocide. What we do know is that the incident spiraled out into the street.
Floyd tried to downplay the situation by saying he was only in the UK for a quick stop to do some shopping and that he was perfectly fine, but eyewitnesses described the scene as much more intense than that. One witness claimed there were around 8 to 10 people actively going after him, while many others stood around watching everything unfold. According to that account, Floyd's security team looked outnumbered as the tension spilled from inside the store out into the street. Whether or not he was physically harmed, the images alone were enough to create the impression that Floyd is now moving through a world where hostility can erupt around him at any moment. For critics, it was another sign that his fame now attracts more anger than admiration in certain places.